Hey there, today I'm going to be taking you through an end-to-end process for data center supply chain management and warehousing. So when you first log into Matrak, what we're looking at is the dashboard, which gives you an overview of your site progress. So as we can see here, for this particular data center, we have a basement and 3 levels, and we have these various stages of products that are being received. We can choose which particular products we care about. At the moment, we're looking at generators, but we could look at chillers and see the results for those as well. And the good thing about the dashboard is that not only tells you where you're at today, but also where you are against your schedule. So if we go down a little bit, we can see this run rate report, which is showing how many items were ordered each day. You can see we had 5 generators ordered today, and in order to hit the deadline of April 30th, we would need to do 2 per day from here on out. And so we can set this up based on what's been received to site, requested to site, or in storage, and so on. And that will show you all of the different statistics. So it's just pretty easy to get that snapshot on how your project's traveling. So one of the main ways that people use Matrak is through the interactive drawings, as this gives you a really visual representation of what's required and where things are at. So I'm going to go to the plans and drawings page just to give you that quick overview. So we can see our data center plan here, and we can actually see all of the different products that are needed for the project are interactive, including the rooms as well for checks or activities that need to be done within a room. I can filter this to just look at the UPS, and then we can see here they are along here. For each of these products, I can jump in and look at the details. So we can see that this particular product is planned for delivery. It's currently at the supply factory. We've got 2 of them coming, pending. Not a huge amount of information there. And similarly, we could look at other items like our generators, which this one has been installed. And then we have all of the information about this one, including when it was arrived on site, supplier, and any other comments about the product as well. And so the core of the system is that individual products will move through that supply chain, going through planning phases, purchase orders, delivery, warehousing, request to site, and then finally installation and commissioning. And that can include quality checks and other things if you like, but for today we'll just look at that first part of the supply chain. So obviously this is pretty useful to have this information all tracked in the one spot, but the first question is, how do you get the system set up? How do you get the information in there? And so I'm going to start by looking at these 2 areas where you get the data in. So we have down here Connect, the Matrak Connect module, which is where we can integrate with platforms to fetch information automatically from your suppliers and from your team to keep all of this updated. And then the import data page, which is where we put in the specific rules for how to process that information and actually track all of this visually and from purchase orders and other areas. So as part of the setup, I'm going to go into the Matrak Connect section. And so here we can see the main ways that Matrak is able to automate some of this work. So firstly, we've got this upload file sections, which I'll show you shortly. And this is where anyone can upload documents into Matrak, which could include the drawings, bill of quantities, purchase orders, bills of lading, shipping, packing lists, any of those documents that contain information about your products. You can also either request the files from other stakeholders, which could be your suppliers or your clients, or you can have them just email particular documents to import at Matrak, and then that will authenticate everything and then actually be able to update information accordingly as well. Next, we have these custom rules, which is where you can actually automate a lot of the activities and set rules within Matrak. So as an example, if you're receiving goods to a warehouse, you may require that the person receiving the goods takes a photo, and so they can't actually say that anything is received without having photo evidence. And similarly, if all of the orders for a particular zone have been ordered, you might want to update that whole zone automatically to say that its ordering is complete. And then here we have the Connect platform section where you can actually be ingesting this data automatically from the tools you use. So it could be Aconex, Procore, Autodesk, Salesforce. There's actually hundreds of different integrations that you can use. And so these will be able to pull the information directly from where your suppliers are already sending it or where your team is already storing it, and then either push that into Matrak to keep things updated, or vice versa. We can take the information in our system and then push that into your reporting platform, your ERP, anywhere else. And so that's how we would typically get the first documents into Matrak via those integrations. But if we go into the import data section, we can show you how to load that in yourself. So I'll show you a couple of typical documents that we would load into the system. So this could be something as simple as the drawings for a project, which may have all of the different items listed on the actual project itself. Or it could be things like purchase orders that that relate to the materials that have been ordered and when they've been shipped. So what I'm going to do is drop some of these files in. So be one of the drawings. And so we can see that the system has identified this as a construction drawing already, and then it's going to start finding information from that drawing to be able to extract. So this would be, for instance, the different products that need to be ordered can all be extracted from the drawings and made interactive this way, as well as information about POs and other products that you want to have tick off automatically. And so this construction drawing has identified 52 items to be able to create. We can download them to view the details or view them on the details tab. And it's all based on these AI systems that are able to look at what you want to track, and you can essentially just chat to it to say, this is the information that I want to extract from these documents. And then anytime it sees a matching document, it'll start loading that information in. So you essentially set these pages up once, and from that point onwards, anytime you get an updated drawing revision, anytime you get an updated BOQ, updated purchase order, they all automatically load into the system. So you remove all of the manual administration normally associated with coordinating your supply chains. So now that data is in Matrak, and one of the main ways that people use that information is through the custom reports page. So here we have the all generators report, which is showing us all of the generators in the project. We also have some other custom reports here, which I will show you briefly. But the goal of this page is that everybody basically sees the information that's relevant to them for their role. And so they can just come in here every day and see exactly what they need to tick off. And everybody can have different views depending on what they're responsible for. So here we've got the generators on the project with all of the information about them. It's a lot of information like this, so I'm going to simplify it by grouping it by the status of each product. And so now I can see which items are planned, ordered, in transit, requested to site, installed. I can also link that information with my warehouse areas as well. So we've got these 16 items which are in storage. I can go to the right, I can see all of the information about the dates for them, quantities, supplier names, comments, and we can also see the different laydown areas that these products are located if I need to quickly find them. And so now I'll show you a few of the different types of reports so you can get a feel for how this would work for your particular role. So we can look at the long lead look ahead. So these are the products that are expected over the next 60 days. And this just has a simple filter that says for any of the products, if the date required on the job is less than 60 days from now, then it's going to show them on the report. And so we can see of the items that should be arriving in the next 60 days, we've got 12 that have been shipped already. Similarly, we can have reports that show just the products that are late to site. So these ones are all of the things that should have actually arrived by now already. We've got another report for deliveries per week. And so these are very quick to set up, as you can kind of see, just a couple of buttons to set everything up. Once you have them ready though, you can favorite them, and you can also make them either a company report or a project report. And so that means anybody in your team or on that specific project can look at exactly the same information as you every single day. And so here I have my purchase order report. And for each of these purchase orders, I can actually see the products that are linked to each order, the status of the individual products. And all of this is loaded in automatically as I receive those POs from suppliers. And so this just gives me a first indication of what's sitting where, the status of each order, and all of the products associated with them. And so now I'm going to have a look at what would happen when those products are actually requested to the job site. I'll quickly show you exactly how those POs can be loaded into Matrak automatically to reduce or completely remove most of the manual effort. So I'll go to the import data page. I can drag and drop my PO just as I would any other document, or I can have it fetched automatically as part of the integrations. If I look at this purchase order here, I can see that it found 7 items, and this is actually the rules for how it identified the product. So for each PO, we want to capture the PO ID. We know that if we have a PO, that the order's been placed, and then it extracts all of the vendor and other information into the system. And then based on that, it's able to keep things updated automatically without you having to do any data entry. So now all of the information has been loaded into Matrak. We have the full bill of quantities for the project. We've received a purchase order. We've loaded that into the system, so we know what's coming to the warehouse. And now our next step is to actually receive those goods and load them in. So for that, I'll be jumping over to the mobile app. So just like the web application, we've got the drawings so we can see all of the different products that appear here as well, and dive straight into any one that we're interested in. And for this purpose, I'm going to say that I've just received some goods on a truck and I need to scan them into the warehouse. So the way that I do that is I open up the QR code scanner, and you can see I've scanned that product already. And I'm going to place it into a laydown area, confirm that, and now that is done. And so if I want to scan the product again, and I go to the details page, I can see that in the related tab that it has been logged into that laydown area now as well. So it really is as simple as that. It takes 2 seconds and you've scanned the products into the location and they're now in storage. And then for the people on site, they also have the same visibility, so they can look at the drawings and actually request products to be delivered to site. And so I would get a notification, for instance, that these 2 generators have been requested to site. And so I can look at all of the products that have been requested for delivery. I can see this list of them here. So for each product, I can go in and view all of the details of what's required. I can take photos, and next, and I can either even mark it up if there's condition errors that need to be rectified. I can add that in there as well. And then I can also see the related information. For instance, I can see that this is in the laydown area and that laydown area is full, so I know exactly where I need to pick my products from. And so that's basically it in terms of the goods receipt, warehousing, and being able to deliver things to the job site. It's super simple, it's very visual on the drawings, and the custom reports mean everyone knows exactly what they're responsible for. The last thing to look at is if you want to get the overall statistics around how your various trades are running, and that's where we use the portfolio dashboard, which can show you across multiple projects or multiple suppliers about where things are at. So if I go to this one now, you can see a list of some of the projects that I'm on, including this data center project here. And so what I'm looking at the top is just the overall health of my portfolio, how are things progressing to their construction deadlines, how many quality checks are being completed, are photos being taken, are we receiving products correctly as they go to warehouses and so on. And then top 3 performing suppliers and the ones that need the most support. And then down here against each project, we can see the overall health against timeline, any issues that need to be resolved, who the owner is for each of those different trades, and then the throughput basically over the last few months about how products are progressing. And then on the right hand side, we have this Gantt chart, which shows based on the project start and end date, how much has been completed, where things are sitting at the moment, and it just gives you that overall snapshot as well. And all of this data can be integrated with Power BI or any other reporting system. That covers the end-to-end of managing data center supply chains in Matrak. Hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for your time.